Hey, my guitar teacher, his name is Serge, and he gave me a really cool assignment recently, and it's pretty amazing. It really makes me super happy what he showed me. We're working on C major, and he's got some special chords I want to show you, but first, the basic idea are the little triads in C major, which I'm going to add something really cool to it, but let's make sure. You know, like C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor. In this case, we're going to do just a B minor to a C. I realize that B minor sounds weird, but it's going to work. We're going to introduce some chromaticism, which is amazing. So if I isolate the third string, I'm going to end up with this. Based on chords. All right, so let me attempt to explain this. This kind of buried me I had to really think about this, but I think I get it. So again, we're going to go C to D minor, but if we introduce the fifth of D minor, which would be A, check this out. Hear that? C, A, D minor. So the fifth of D minor is going to push us to D minor. So A kind of brings us to the D minor. So and we're going to carry on with that. The next chord, so C, D minor, E minor, we'll do the fifth of E minor, which is B. So I'll do the little group C, A7 or A, D minor, B, E minor. So you can hear it just sort of pushing and building and modulating. And so again, if we do the third string, hear that? Chromatic. And there's other things we can do with this, but let's keep going. Let's review C, A, D minor, B, E minor. Now the next chord up in our normal triad, C, D minor, E minor, F. So we'll do the fifth of F, which is C. Here it comes. And that will give us more chromatic. Take the echo down a little bit. It's very cool, but a little less for clarity. Double check. I have to think about it. Where are we going? Let's start over. I'm going to read it. C, A, D minor, B, E minor, C, F. Now our next chord will be G. We'll do the fifth of G, which is D. All right, let's do it again. C, A, D minor, B, E minor, C, F, D, G. And there's our chromatic. I'll isolate that chromatic note or accentuate it. After E minor, C, F, D, G. Okay, now our next chord would be A minor. The fifth of A minor is E. I think I'm going to read it. Luckily, I took notes during my lesson. Okay, now it gets kind of weird. Normally our next chord would be a B minor 7 flat 5. Excuse me. Pardon me. But in this case, we're just going to do a B minor. It just kind of works that way. That's what I was told. So we're going to go F sharp to B minor. And finally, let's just resolve it. G, C. And again, the chromatic. Now I'll do it, the whole thing again. Have I done the whole thing yet? I don't think so. Sorry to drag it out so long. So that F sharp major does sound okay. So Serge says this repeatedly. He says, every chord you play, treat it as a key for the duration of that chord. So I still have to ask what that really means. But does that mean, when we're in F sharp, we're playing, full on F sharp? Yeah, I suppose. So you could do like arpeggios based on these. And that gave me chromatic on the top. Oops. For my C, my A, the D minor, the B, the E minor, the C. Wait a minute. Wait, E minor and C. They're the same, okay? I'll accept that. Sometimes things just are that way. F and D. Hear that chromatic? That's very cool. G, E, A minor, F sharp, B minor, and C. So the chromatic was so you've got, yeah, that's just doing the, arpeggio thing. I suppose you could kind of like maybe stretch out these chords so you're like going C, A, D minor, B, E minor, C, F, D, G, E, A minor, F sharp, B minor, G, C. And, just play whatever you want over each chord as you feel would relate to that chord. So you play, if it's major, play major. If it's minor, play minor. I suppose you could put in dominant sevenths or whatever kind of extensions you want to kind of flavor or spice it up, or throw in some chromatic stuff. So really you can play about any note at any time and probably justify it, but it could get a little messy. But this gives us just some really cool harmonic tension, and you can just feel it kind of rising to the next chord, and finally ends back on C. It's kind of a triumphant resolution, pretty dramatic and enjoyable. So, if you like what I said, you could probably just take notes on that, on those chords. I'll tell you one more time. C, A, D minor, B, E minor, C, F, D, G, E, A minor, F sharp, B minor, G, C. And if you don't know those chords, you should probably get my chord book. They're $20 plus shipping. Just email me, hooverguitar@yahoo.com, and we'll work it out. It's got, I think, 46 pages, and it's got a lot of chords. But you could also just check my videos out on Triads. I've got a lot of videos on chords, so don't be afraid to go back and check those out. So, hey, thank you, Serge. Thank you, teacher. He's a wise, wise man, and I really appreciate that he takes care to make sure I'm having a good time while learning. He challenges me. He doesn't just let me sit here and just go, yep, repeat the same thing. He lifts me to the next level. So that's what a good teacher does, and he definitely has the special gift of teaching, and I respect that greatly. So thanks, Serge, and thanks everybody else. Look up Serge. He makes some really cool videos. I'm gonna try to put a link to one of his videos in there. Please subscribe to Serge. He's really, really a cool guy. All right, take care. Keep rocking.